Hiya! Welcome! So this is a contest entry for a great new channel, new to me anyway, that I've started subscribing to on YouTube in the vinyl community, MGK Boston. And Mike, who runs the channel, and his wife Patty, they recently started their, I think it's pushed to 400 subscribers contest, and the prize is, I think, $50 Amazon credit. Impressed?
Very.
Nice prize. I think it closes on Saturday, January the 7th, if I've remembered all that correct. So I wanted to get involved with this contest, but I really needed a co-host or a special guest, so I'd like to introduce those who don't know her, which will probably be nearly everybody, to my mother. Do you want to talk a little bit about yourself? Sorry, you don't have to read your autobiography out.
As James has just said, I'm his mum for my sins. I just live across the road from James, so I see him quite a lot.
Oh God, this is fascinating for people, isn't it?
I don't really know what else to say.
And her name's Christine, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, and I live with James's two daughters.
So my mum's going to help me out with this, because what Mike and Patty asked for is to, preferably if they can get in the video as well, to talk about a loved one or a partner or a friend, anyone you know really well and that you get on with and that you respect. Yeah. I mean, obviously I struggled to find someone.
Yeah,
but
me too.
To have someone in the video, preferably, and to show 3 of their albums in their music collection that you probably aren't going to be very keen on the artists or the album itself. And also there's a couple other things that I need to show after that as well. My mum has chosen 3 albums here from her collection. I think it's safe to say that I would vehemently dislike all of these. So I'll just grab the first one that's on top of this little pile here. And do you want to tell people what this is and why you've got it?
Aled Jones, Morning Has Broken. I've had this CD for quite a few years. I've always liked Aled Jones. He appears quite a lot on Songs of Praise, which I also like to watch. Most of these are, I say most of them, some of them are hymns and some of them are just nice spiritual songs. My favourite on here is Morning Has Broken.
That's Aled Jones. What's it called? It's called Morning Has Broken, the album.
Yeah.
I mean, Aled Jones, I remember when he first came into the UK singles chart, he would have been pretty young at that point. Maybe, how old was he when Walking in the Air first came out?
About 9.
Oh, it was about 9, was it?
I think.
So that was about the mid-80s. No, not keen. I didn't like him when he had that sort of soprano voice. Don't like him now. Terrible album, but... my mum likes it, and hopefully the next one will be a little bit better. I'm looking at it and I think it's a slight improvement, but that's my mum's first choice for one of her 3 CDs that she's showing. Aled Jones and the abysmal Morning Has Broken. What's the next album that you want to show everyone?
Leonard Cohen.
And that's the essential Leonard Cohen,
Yes.
So it's like a greatest hits, really, isn't it? I mean, if you want to tell people exactly why you like this.
Yeah, I will. I was first introduced to Leonard Cohen about 50 years ago by my now ex-husband, because he was one of his favourite artists. And I will say, as soon as I heard his music, I really liked it. Some of the words, some of the lyrics are a little bit obscure, in that I don't always understand what he's talking about, but I like his voice and I just like the music. I just really like him. I think he's lovely.
Is he Canadian, Leonard
Yes,
Cohen?
he's Canadian.
Yeah, I thought he was. Leonard Cohen needs no introduction in the vinyl community, no doubt. Out of the 3 albums that my mum's chosen here, this would be the one that I would probably dip into a little bit. I've never really liked Leonard Cohen. I've found his voice to be it's very low and, I can't really think of another word to describe it, really.
Gruff.
Yeah, gruff. I know Leonard Cohen was a bit of a joke in certain circles for many years, that like people found his music a bit boring. I can't totally slate this album really, because I'm sure there's some decent stuff on it. Is there any particular favourite songs of yours on there?
Yeah, I've got a couple of favourites. My first favourite will be actually the first one on this CD, which is Suzanne.
I think I know that.
Yeah. And then there's another one that I really like. It's called So Long Marianne.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And say, if I had to choose another one, I'd probably choose Hallelujah.
I wondered if you're going to pick that. That's the one everyone knows, really, isn't it? It was about, I think, 2008, where I think at least 3 versions of Hallelujah were in the Christmas top 10, and one of them must have been Leonard Cohen's, but I think his was like the least successful, because there was like the X Factor winner that year, which was Alexander Burke, I think. And then there was a re-release of Jeff Buckley's cover of Hallelujah. And other people have covered it as well, and they may have scraped into the charts around that point. I'm not a Leonard Cohen fan. I can't see me ever collecting any of his music. I think probably as a lyricist and as an artist, he's certainly more credible than Ali Jones and the person who's still to come in this. It's not for me personally, but I can't really fully criticise Leonard Cohen. Not my taste, but as far as my mum's taste in music goes, that's probably about as good as we're going to get today anyway.
Yeah.
So you've picked one more album to show in MGK Boston's Push to 400 subscribers contest. Oh dear, yeah. Right, yeah, show people this and tell them who it is and what's so good about it.
Well, this is Susan Boyle. A lot of people have heard of Susan Boyle. She was Britain's Got Talent. She didn't actually win. I think she came second quite a few years ago.
I think she lost to Diversity, didn't she?
That's right, she did.
The dance group.
Yeah, she did. But it didn't really matter that she only came second, because she immediately got quite a few recording bits of things. She's got several CDs, which I've got. I think I've got most of them. This one is a sort of a Christmas mix. It's called The Gift. Funnily enough, this has also got Hallelujah.
Oh, she covered it, did she? That's right.
Which is, as I've just said, is one of my favourite songs from Leonard Cohen.
I might have bought you that, might I?
You did buy this?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, some of my mum's collection I've got to take a little bit of responsibility for, because I would have bought them for her for Christmas and birthday presents.
You did, yeah. Most of the other songs on here are Christmas songs. I just like it. I just think she's got a lovely voice. She's a middle-aged lady, which is good. Of course, she hasn't got anything that's sort of just for her. She covers other people's music. And of course, with this one...
Well, yeah, has she ever released an original song that either she's wrote or someone's written for her?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. But with this one, it's mostly Christmas.
And a bit of non-Christmas.
Yes.
Has she... I can't remember her releasing anything for a few years, has she?
No, I don't think she has. I don't know what's happened to her.
Yeah, she has seemed to have dropped off the radar a bit,
I think she might have sort of semi-retired. I mean, she was not a spring chicken when she won Britain's Got Talent.
Well, when she almost won.
Came second in Britain's Got Talent, I should have said.
So yeah, Susan Boyle, if you're watching, why would you be, for starters? And also, I'm sure there's at least one person, if you decide to make a comeback, would buy your next album. But Susan Boyle, awful. No, not for me whatsoever. I knew my mum would be a good person to do this contest video with, because I knew a lot of the stuff. Don't get me wrong, there's some stuff that I've got to give my mum credit for actually getting me into. Like, my mum got me into the Pet Shop Boys when I was young, and I've been an avid collector of them for years now. And we can move on to the Pet Shop Boys in a little bit, actually. And there's other things that my mum's been into that I thought, oh yeah, I quite like that. But I mean, the Pet Shop Boys is certainly the main example. But Susan Boyle, middle of the road dross, really.
Reminds me of myself, but I haven't got such a good voice. But I haven't got a singing voice.
Yeah, and also she's Scottish and
I'm English.
Well, yeah. Probably older than her as well.
I think I probably am a bit older than her, yes.
Yeah. I'm not saying my mum's old, but she was part of the halftime entertainment during the Christians versus the Lions.
Oh, definitely.
Anyway, so Susan Boyle, I don't really want to speak on her too much longer. other than to say that I would never listen to that album. I would never listen to anything by Susan Boyle out of choice. And if she has retired, I think that's good news for the entire country, if not the entire music listening world, really. So there we are, the dreadful Susan Boyle. Thank you to my mum, Christine, there for showing three. Well, one of them, I think there'd be songs on there that I would possibly enjoy, but as a whole, three albums there that I wouldn't want in my collection, I wouldn't want to listen to. So the next part of this contest is just to show a couple of things that Mike and Patty requested, and it was to firstly show a Christmas album. So I'm going to get one that I have showed quite recently, and the two, because there's something else afterwards, the two acts, the two artists I picked here, I did pick deliberately because I know my mum likes them. These aren't in my mum's collection, these are from my own collection. But I know my mum likes both of these artists, and I do as well. I'm a big fan of both. So the Christmas album to show it is by Erasure, and it's Snow Globe.
Yeah, I like Erasure.
I'm trying to think if you had any Erasure albums. They would have been on cassette, most likely, when I was a kid. You may have had their first greatest hits at some point. So this is their Christmas album from, I always forget the year, it's 2016. I've not had this that long, actually. It was quite difficult to find. Great Christmas album. I'm not a massive fan of Christmas music generally, but I think Erasure are great. One of the best synth pop duos ever, with the arguable exception of the next one that I'll show you. You might have heard little bits on this album, possibly somewhere, but I doubt you've heard this album before yourself, have you?
No, I don't think so.
No. Some interesting cover versions on here that you'll like. Gardete is track number 2. You'll know it when you hear it, Gardete. Steel Eye Span did a version in the 70s. Yeah. It's like a medieval type thing. Yeah. You'll know it when you hear it. Yeah. Silent Night, obviously. Everyone knows that. Side B, Bleak Midwinter. I mean, it doesn't say in the Bleak Midwinter, but I'm certain I remember that it was a cover of that. Anything else interesting that you'd probably enjoy on here? There's a cover of White Christmas.
I don't really like White Christmas.
Oh, no, it's not religious enough for you then. Track 4, a cover of Stop the Cavalry. That came out, that was by Jonah Lewy in the early 80s.
I probably do.
You'll know it, yeah. Same with the other one, you'll know it when you hear it. And then I think most of the rest is like original stuff on here. But as Christmas albums go, and this video will be going out a little bit after Christmas, but it's still the festive holidays, as it were. I think that's a really good album from Erasure, Snow Globe. So the final thing to show in MGK Boston's contest is to show a concert DVD. And I've mentioned them already in this video. This is one that I got, it was reissued for the first time on DVD. I'm trying to remember if there's a CD in here as well. I think there is, actually. Yeah, 2 CDs in fact. This is Discovery Live in Rio 1994 by Pet Shop Boys. You loved the Pet Shop Boys when I was a kid, and admittedly, if it wasn't for you listening to them constantly, then it might have taken me a few more years to get into them than what I did, but they're one of the pop acts that as a young child I remember really being into and enjoying, and all these years later I still do. So this is obviously what it says it is on the tin. It's a concert that was filmed in Rio in 1994. You were still listening to Pet Shop Boys somewhat in the early mid-90s, weren't you? Yeah. You had the album Actually, you would have had that on tape. I remember you had the 12-inch single of Always on My Mind as well, didn't you? Yeah. Which was unusual, because I don't remember you ever getting any more vinyl, ever, other than that 12-inch single. I don't know if Dad bought it for you or...
Might have done.
So there'll be lots of stuff on here that you're familiar with. I mean, Always on My Mind is track 3 on this, and then other stuff I know you'll know.
Go West.
Go West is near the end,
that is my very favourite.
Oh, there you go. That was from originally 1993. I say originally, it was a kind of cover of the Village People, but Pet Shop Boys cover came out in 93. And this concert was a year later. Great concert. I could have chosen a lot of different concerts because I've got concert DVDs and Blu-rays from New Order, Rammstein. I've got a ton of New Order ones, including like unofficial bootlegs really, but I thought because I know my mum really likes the Pet Shop Boys and Erasure as well, I'd pick a couple of artists that my mum and I actually share the same taste in music. It's possible, as I've proven, but generally as a rule, if my mum likes it, then chances are I won't. And probably vice versa as well. That's it. That's the contest entry done. I want to say thank you all for watching. I want to say thank you to my co-host, Mater.
You're welcome.
I hope you've enjoyed watching this. Thank you, Mike and Patty, for running this contest. Good luck with it, and I know you're going to smash your subscriber target, and it's just been really fun to take part in this. Speaking of contests, don't forget my own #JB2K vinyl community contest is still going. That's going until February the 2nd. The link for that is at the top of the description, as are all my other usual referral links and stuff like Patreon and my Facebook group as well. So we're going to go now. I'm assuming Christine here is probably in the mood to put Susan Boyle on, or Ali Jones
likely.
or someone.
Yeah.
Whereas I ought to listen to Snow Globe, really. As I say, I'm filming this a few days before Christmas, so it'll be nice to listen to one more Christmas-related record before the day itself. But until that time, again, when I'll see you, I will say goodbye and hope that you will join me again next time for my next vinyl community contest entry. Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.